There are 3 Sims things that for some reason all of you are obsessed with. It doesn't matter what I'm building, where I'm building it, I will be getting comments about these 3 things. Every single day there are comments about bookcase doors, glass roofs, and cat cafes. I don't know what it is, but Simmers eat this stuff up. I could go live on Twitch right now trying to build some sort of like Strangerville only bunker or something, and somebody will be like, Kayla, have you considered turning it into a cat cafe instead? The people love cat cafes. And this predates even businesses and hobbies coming out. The people have been talking about this forever. And so I think it's about time that we build a cat cafe. The chances of my cat coming up here for this right now, I think it's about time that we try to build a functional cat cafe using all of the new pack features. And I think we can manage to fit a glass roof or 2 in there as well, but I'm not so sure about the bookcase door. And we're gonna build this on Katarina. She tried to bite my headphones. We're gonna build this on Katarina Lynx's lot. This is like the resident cat lady of The Sims 4. She has 4 cats already, and if anybody is gonna run a small business cat cafe, it's gonna be her. I also really like the location of her house, but I'm not a huge fan of what it actually looks like, so I think I'm gonna bulldoze this and just build something completely from scratch. And when you go to set this up, they even have cat cafe as one of the defaults. It has Sims playing with pets, drinking coffee, and drinking tea, and we'll just charge them to come and do it. I can also set our target customers to be cats. So this works a little bit differently from a normal cat cafe, because often in real life, cat cafes are like a place you might go to adopt a cat. Like the cat cafes that are local to me work with local pet rescues. There's an organization called Cats Can here that's like a pet shelter. And essentially the cat cafe is like a foster for some of the cats from the rescue. And it's nice because then people that are looking to adopt a cat can go there, they can meet some of the animals, they can decide maybe they want to adopt one. But you can't really do that in The Sims because the customers bring their own cats here. You can also turn on the cat hangout lot trait, which means that stray cats will hang around this, but you don't need the cat friendly lot trait. You actually can't turn this on a small business lot, but you don't really need to. Cat friendly just means that cat owners will visit the lot with their cats, which is the exact same as the business rule that I just set. That lot trait is literally identical to this preferred customer setup. Okay, but with that plan in action, I think we can actually start building. Snap, if you're gonna sit here, you can't eat my headphones. I would love for her to be a part of this, but you can't do that. Okay, well, let's just dive into the speed build and I'll kind of walk you through what I've done here. The goal with this was to have the entire ground floor be the cat cafe space. I wanted to have a section that was like proper cafe area with like a place to buy drinks, places to sit and eat. And I wanted to put a bunch of cat stuff throughout that whole area. So there's like cat trees and everything all over the room. And then we also have kind of like a catio space on this build. So there's a little bit of like an indoor outdoor thing for the cats to play on. And then the upstairs belongs to Katarina and her family, so she's got all of her apartment space on the top floor. It's also kind of funny because I built this with Katarina on the lot. You're gonna see her cats just kind of around. So if you see any like tiny dots, don't worry about it. It's just Katarina's cats. The kitten is like the size of a little tiny rat or something. So if you see it and you're like, what is that dot on my screen? Is it like a mark on my monitor? No, it's just the kitten. I kept thinking that too. I was like, do I need to clean my screen? No, it's actually a cat. Before we get too far into this, I wanted to quickly take a moment to announce a charity stream that I'm doing today. We're gonna be fundraising for Trans Lifeline over on my Twitch channel today, and I'm gonna link my Twitch stream down below and also the donation page down below. Trans Lifeline is a trans-led community support organization, and their goal is to help connect trans people to the community, the support, and the resources that they need to survive and to thrive. In the US, our current administration and state legislators are rolling out policies that aim to erase the history and the existence of trans people. So it is crucial for us to stand in solidarity with that community, to talk about it, to help fundraise. This is a really scary time, so if you would like to donate, Trans Lifeline is a great place. I'm gonna link my fundraiser down below, but I'm also gonna link a bunch of other places that you can donate if you would like to. But even if you cannot monetarily support these causes, there are a lot of other ways that you can get involved, so I'm gonna link a ton of stuff down below about that as well. Doing things like calling your elected officials and asking them to oppose harmful policy is really helpful. And there are also places that you can volunteer and other ways that you can get involved. So again, I'm gonna link all of that down below. I'm also gonna link some more educational resources down below, some helpful articles about like the legislative attacks, the current passport issues, and just generally like some history and context on the trans day of visibility. There are a lot of trans folks in this community, and I just wanna make it clear that you are so loved, you are supported, and you are so welcome here. Hopefully I will see some of you over on my Twitch stream today. I'm sorry to like plug all of this. I just feel like it's it's really important to talk about. And like I said, lots of stuff linked down below for you. And now we can actually talk about the build for a second. So right now we're trying to figure out the floor plan of this place. So you can see me trying really hard to decide where I'm gonna put the staircase. That was like the main initial problem, because I knew that I wanted to have sort of like an employee only area and also a staircase that gives private access to the apartments. I wanted to have the cafe, maybe even a kitchen of some sort. We're gonna need bathrooms, both for the humans and for the cats. And then I wanna have like places to sit and eat. I wanna have places to play. There was just a long list of things that we had to fit into a relatively small space. I know it's looking a little bit weird right now, but this is one of those times where I again have to ask you to please trust the process. I swear it's gonna come together. It just took some like experimenting to get it to a point where it worked. I also used a little bit of a platform around the place just to kind of give us some multi-level more interest, I guess. That was a good idea in theory, but in practice, the kittens can't go up and down any stairs. So the kittens are stuck on that ground floor, which is fine because there isn't any stair to get inside the building, but the kittens can't go to the bathrooms or to the catio. So I had to put a litter box on the ground floor somehow, which is okay. It was fine. And then if Katarina wants to bring the cat into her house, she has to carry it up the stairs, which is also fine. It isn't a huge deal. And they're only kittens for like 3 seconds anyway, but it's just something to consider for gameplay. There was a lot of discussion in my Twitch chat about what the ground should look like on the outside. So you can see I've got brick right now because there's brick in the front and then the rest of it is wood because it's like kind of on a dock. And so we were going back and forth a lot on which one it should be. Should it be brick? Should it be wood? Should it be both? I ended up using both and kind of splitting it, which you'll see later on. And also, this place is huge. I added a 3rd floor onto it. So Katarina's apartment is kind of like 2 stories. She's got kind of like a sneaky small 3rd floor, and I use that as like a cat room upstairs. We also have a greenhouse sort of vibe going on the side. That's the catio I keep talking about. And of course, it comes with the glass roof that I have been discussing so much. I'm kind of pretending that it's mesh. It's not actually in game. The windows are, because those are the Greenhouse Haven kit windows, and they've got a few different swatches. There's like a solid glass panel, there's one that has panes, and then this one is like a little mesh texture. So it's like a screen, and that's super realistic. In real life, that happens all the time. People build catio stuff and they put screens around it. Even I have something kind of like that. It's not really a catio. I just have like a screened-in porch at my house, and I let my cats go onto the screened-in porch sometimes because they like going out there, and it's safe because they're still enclosed, but they can be like kind of outside. So let's just pretend that the roof is also a screen on that catio. It's like one of those big Florida pool screen, pool cage thingies, but it's just, in real life, those would be mesh. In The Sims, it's glass. I guess the bonus there is that in The Sims, it's not affected by weather. Like, they aren't gonna get rained on or anything. In real life, they would. So a win is a win. Let's just pretend that it's fine. I put a bunch of like cat trees and cute things out there on the patio. And then I have kind of like a small fenced in section of true outdoor space that the cats can access. I wasn't sure what fence to use, so I kind of went back and forth and changed my mind a lot on that. So you'll see me sort of switch it up. Here in the front, I use one of those businesses and hobbies signs, and I just kind of placed it so it looks like it's floating in front of where the frieze goes. And then I put a couple of cute decorative sign items. There's like a coffee cup, a cat paw, and like a leaf, because this place also grows catnip, I guess. So I don't know, I was trying to make it work. I've had a hard time using the wider sign so far from that pack. I think 3 is almost like a little bit too many icons. If I could do 2, it might be better. But because I hadn't used it that much yet, I was trying to make it happen here. That's why I did that. You'll see I also used a lot of the Cozy Bistro kit windows downstairs. They've got that kind of cute blue color, so I used those. And then I was thinking about using the blue windows from Businesses and Hobbies, but I also tried the Love Struck windows. I ended up settling for the Love Struck ones because they were a little bit bigger. I also was trying really hard to not make a blue Suburban. Like, that was not my intention. The problem is so much stuff in this game is blue, especially the cats and dogs stuff. There's like blue wallpaper everywhere. All the furniture comes in blue. Even the windows from Businesses and Hobbies have a blue swatch. So it's just like, ugh. It's very easy to use too much blue because the Sims team has simply given us too much blue. I tried to distance myself from the blue Suburban accusations by making it more of a pink and blue vibe, which actually works out really well for today's purposes because the trans pride flag is pink and blue. But that's a happy accident because I built this a few weeks ago. I did not know I was gonna post it today. It's a really solid color scheme though. Like, you cannot go wrong with pink and blue together. It always looks so good. Like, pink, blue, and white, come on. come on, it's perfect. We're moving upstairs quickly though to keep working on the upstairs floor plan. This is for Katarina's apartment, so you can kind of see a little bit better what I was talking about with that sneaky third story. So what I've done is put basically the cat room and almost like a guest room on that third floor. I put a Murphy bed in there, so if you wanted to have a guest stay, they could, but it's mostly just cat stuff all the way up there. Katarina also has a small office on the top floor, and then downstairs she has her bedroom, her kitchen, and her living room. So despite me taking over a lot of her lot to use for the public cafe area, she actually still has a really big house. It's very similar in size to what it used to be because I've just made it so much bigger. And dare I say, I think it looks a lot better than how it originally used to look. I have really been enjoying using this new pack to sort of reimagine a lot of stuff like this. It's so fun for me to try and imagine what these old townies would have done if they had their own business. And I just have so many ideas. Like obviously Katarina's Cat Cafe is the most obvious, but think about Bob Pancakes running his own pancake house. Or like if Alice Spencer Kim Lewis had like a little art business and if she was selling some of her artwork, Johnny Zest could have like a comedy club at his house. People could come over and watch because he's got that stage now. There's just so many options. This pack is basically endless. It's so cool. Easily has become one of my favorite Sims 4 packs. I just have had so much fun playing with it. I was just gone for a few days. I went on like a little mini beach vacation, and the whole time I was like, dang. I wish I was home playing with my little Sims game. I had all these like build ideas that I wanted to work on, and so I was just like sat there like, wow, I could be making my candy store right now if I was home. I have like Sims brain rot. It's terrible. Man, it's not a bad thing. I guess it's a good thing because I play The Sims for a living. Like it's a nice problem to have, but I literally live and breathe The Sims. I cannot stop thinking about The Sims no matter where I am. And that actually reminds me that this is maybe a good time for a little life update. I tend to do that in these speed builds because I'm just sat here yapping for so long. I might as well talk about something that's not just The Sims. You gotta fill the time somehow. But I just got back from a cruise. It wasn't a long cruise or anything. It was just a few days. But I live in Orlando, so I live very close by to Port Canaveral where a lot of the cruise ships go out of. And I've always wanted to go on one and kind of like see what the vibes are. I don't know, you live so close by. It's like kind of a fun idea to just go try it. So a few months ago, me and Dan booked a little cruise. I had a balcony room, which was pretty fun. We didn't go to many places because it was kind of short, but I went to Nassau and also to Coco Key. It's technically called Coco Key, but it's spelt K, like C-A-Y, but Royal Caribbean calls it Perfect Day at Coco Key. So I don't know how you're supposed to say it. They say Coco Key. People that know about this stuff say Coco Key. I don't know, but I went there. It's just like a beach island, basically. I spent essentially the entire time reading. I read 3.5 books while I was gone. I went swimming in the ocean, which I have not done in like maybe 15 years. I am a very anxious person about a lot of things, and the ocean was not for me. Like normally I avoid at all costs. I'll like walk on the beach when I go to the beach, but I'm not usually one to spend a lot of time at the beach, and I'm not one to get in the water completely. But I went swimming in the ocean and I actually had fun, which is a big moment for me. This is a big change. Lots of progress was made. I will say that if you were planning on going on a cruise and you're vegetarian or vegan, the options are not good. Honestly, it was like a little bit dire, the situation for me, but it's fine. They just really don't have that many options. And I hate to say it, but a lot of it was bad. Like some of the vegan options were like roasted sweet potatoes, but it was literally just roasted sweet potatoes. Like no seasoning. It just tasted like sweet potato goo. My mom called me Mrs. Potato Head because I was telling her what I had been eating, and she was like, wow, so potatoes, like that's it. I still had fun, but like I wouldn't say that the cruise is like a fun foodie experience if you were like me, just because there's not that much that I could eat. Most people would have an easier time. Like if you don't have any dietary restrictions, you'd have an easier time. I would be concerned if you have any allergies too, but I'm sure you could like talk to them about that in advance or anything. The ship was really cool though, and I actually had a lot of fun. I'm really glad that I did it. I haven't really been to the beach or like on a beach vacation in a long time, which is normal, I guess, but also I live in Florida, so it's not like the beach is far away. I live like 40 minutes from the beach. I just don't go there. So it made for a very fun and exciting experience for me. The timing was either really good or really bad because my family's dog passed away last week. She unfortunately died on Friday, and then I went on my cruise on Monday. I was kind of like distraught, not handling things well, having a really hard time. And on Monday, I was like, oh my God, the last thing I want to do is go anywhere right now. However, when I was there, I think it was actually a good distraction. So in hindsight, it probably worked out well that it happened that way. Not Not that that happening to Bimmy worked out well, but like, you know, she was really old and she was sick, and like it you know, I was glad to be away and to think and do something else, I guess, at the time. Also, I won bingo, which I don't want to brag, was kind of a big deal to me. The bingo in these places is wild. People like camp out, they're like waiting in long lines to buy their bingo cards because you like buy into it, right? It's gambling. And they had it in like this big theater where they do the big theater shows. And I was just there for a good time. Like I wasn't trying to win any money. I didn't think anything was gonna happen. I was just there to like exist and see what bingo's all about. I don't know anything about bingo. Like I don't have bingo experience. So I just wanted to try it. And I won bingo. They did 3 rounds and 4 people won bingo total. I won the second round. Somebody else also got bingo my round, so we had to split the winnings. But I won $500 playing bingo on the cruise. That is a lot of money. It would have been $1,000 had I not had to split the bingo winnings with that person. But I'm not mad because I did not expect to win anything at bingo. Most people win nothing at bingo. So that was kind of a big deal to me. For the past few days, I just kept thinking like, oh my God, I can't believe I won bingo. I really cannot believe that happened. When they came to check the card, they brought a microphone and they were like, tell us your name and where you're from. And I was like, hi, I'm Kayla and I'm from Florida. And then as I was leaving the bingo place, this person came up and she was like, oh my God, I heard your voice. And I was like, I know that voice. And she asked me for a picture, which is just so funny. Like thinking about somebody else being in the bingo audience and then this YouTuber they watch wins bingo. What are the chances of that? But anyway, I'm sorry, I'll talk about the build again for a second. I've gotten a little carried away talking about everything but the build. You can see I've made a lot of progress with the furnishings in here. So the main thing that I've done is put a few of these couches along the back, and I liked this a lot because I basically put the cat tree in the middle, almost like it was built in right there. We also have some tables in front of them, and then I put some little cat decals around just to have some kind of cute cat decor. And then at this point, I was struggling a lot with what to put above the sofas. I guess they're not technically sofas. They're like the dining benches from Cozy Bistro Kit. They work like booth seating, so you can actually slot a table to it. But I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to have some seating that you could have your Sims go and like hang out on. I wanted a variety of seating, and I liked how these matched and kind of looked like built-ins. But I decided to use some of those big cupcake pictures in here. At first, I was doing a few of them and like having them go in a row. Then I tried sizing it up. I didn't know if sized up if it was too much or not, but I felt like that was probably the best bet for this, and I kind of liked the colors of them. It also makes sense to have like little dessert artwork inside of this place. And then I got a little bit desperate trying to think about artwork for the other wall. So what I ended up doing on that wall that's like next to the cafe setup is I went in game and spent a ridiculous amount of time trying to have my Sim paint pictures of the cats. So I did like some custom paintings that you'll see pop up soon. I think I cut out the video of me painting them because it was so long, but I wanted to warn you just in case you see any paint by references pop up randomly. I was getting so frustrated. I spent like an hour doing this in real life because you know how paint by reference can be. Like it can be a little bit funky trying to get it to be the right angle that you want. It's a little finicky trying to get it in the right spot. And then you add on the cats moving as you try and do it, and it's just a nightmare. It's like almost unbearable. I would get a good one. They'd be like right on a table somewhere. I'd move the thing, ready to take my picture, and then the cat jumps down immediately and I miss it. So in the end, I'm not sure if it was actually worth the amount of time that I spent taking those paint by reference photos, but it was fun for me. And I think that it's cute. And I also think that it kind of fits with the storyline of Katarina being here and it being Katarina's business because it's her cats, you know, so she'd want to have them be on the artwork. And also in real life, they would probably be cats that are up for adoption. So it makes sense to have pictures of them hung up on the wall. They might have like a photo wall with the cats and their names or something in real life. I did think about putting photos, like taking pictures instead of painting pictures. But the problem with taking the pictures is that on the gallery, they count as CC. So I didn't want the build to be marked as having CC because it doesn't have any. It would just have the pictures. So I did the paintings instead because the paintings are safer like that. I've never really played The Sims on console that much, so I don't have a lot of personal console experience. But from my understanding, the reason that the CC thing is a big problem is that if the build is marked as having CC on the gallery, it won't show up at all on the gallery on console. Obviously with like the PC normal Sims game, if stuff has CC and you download it, it just deletes the custom content. It's no big deal. It might replace the items or something. But on console, if the build doesn't appear at all and you like physically cannot download it at all, that's a problem. So I didn't want that. So I was trying to avoid doing it. You can see I'm just putting some clutter around right now. I've got like some plates and bowls and mugs back here by the cafe section. I also put a bunch of fake cat treats on the shelf back there. And this is a functional coffee bar. So you'll hire a vendor essentially, or like hire an employee to come work at this coffee bar if you wanted to run this place. And then I also have the little bakery stand because I kind of liked the idea of your sim cooking stuff to sell in there, maybe some pastries or something. And so I put the little candy maker if you wanted to sell any of that too. Okay, moving on into this section though. This is kind of like the hallway that gives you access to where the catio space is. I've got the bathroom in there. I cut all the bathroom stuff out because I spent so long on the bathroom. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. At first I had 2 bathrooms. They each had a toilet and also a litter box in them. Then I had 1 human bathroom and 1 cat bathroom with like just toilets, then just litter boxes. Then I did it again as 1 big room with just a toilet stall and some litter boxes. I was going back and forth so much. I didn't really like the idea of having the cat stuff be completely separate because I wanted them to be able to like engage with the human when they go to the bathroom. So I kept it all as 1 big room. I'll show you in the tour at the end kind of how it looks. I did put an extra litter box in like the employee area, which sounds a little bit weird now that I say it out loud because it's kind of the kitchen. So having a litter box in the kitchen is probably not up to health code to have a litter box in like this restaurant kitchen. Oh my God. Hey, don't think about it too much. Don't worry about it. But that way the cats, if you had like a kitten, it's still on the ground floor so they could come and get to it. I also put toys everywhere. There's cat trees everywhere. Like I really went all out with this when I was doing it. And we're just about done with the downstairs now. We're kind of putting some finishing touches in the public area and then we're gonna move upstairs into the apartment. So right now you can see like a side door where your sim can access their apartment from. They can get there both from the interior, but also by going outside to kind of their own front door. Then they can go upstairs, and this is the whole apartment. So I'm decorating the kitchen first by putting in some little kitchen counters. I made the whole place very pastel and very colorful. I think Katarina Lynx doesn't actually have this light and colorful of a house right now, at least in the default version of the game. Her house looks a little bit older. She kind of has like a mismatch of furniture. There's a lot of darker wood tones, but I picture her having like a more funky, colorful house. I feel like it fits her vibe a little bit more. So I started with the bright yellow kitchen cabinets and kind of went from there. I think I would say her whole apartment is kind of blue and yellow upstairs for the most part. I based a lot of it on those curtains from Dream Home Decorator as well. I don't know if I've used that swatch ever before, but it kind of worked. It helped to tie it all together, especially with the tile that I have back behind the kitchen cabinets. This kitchen cabinet itself is actually base game. I got a lot of questions about this in my Twitch chat when I used it. I think it's because a lot of people consume a lot of Sims content, but don't actually play the Sims that much, which is so valid. We've all been there, I get it. You kind of go in waves as you play the Sims, but a lot of people might have missed that we had a big update back in February and it came with a whole new kitchen set. So that kitchen counter is base game. You have it in your game right now if you want to use it. I love getting to like share positive news like that, you know? It's fun when somebody asks you about an item and it's like base game or it's free. A lot better than getting asked about an item and having to be like, oh no, that one's like a early purchase content item from a pack that you can't get anymore or something. Oh, and I probably do owe you an apology. This build uses so many packs. Like this is a bad one. I kind of went all out with this one and I am so sorry. I have a couple of limited pack builds planned for you in the next week or so I'm gonna hopefully make it up to you with those. I have a lot of horse related content that I'm coming up with. I don't know why this has happened, but I've got this like horse let's play with my off the grid challenge. I've made 2 horse related builds that I'm gonna post as speed builds. I'm planning on a horse rags to riches thing soon. So we're gonna have like horse week coming up. But one of those is a limited pack build, so hopefully that helps. I want to try and make a few more limited pack businesses too, so that people can have some things to download and play with if they wanted to. I made a lot that were just base game in the new pack, but it's fun to do stuff that's like base game cats and dogs in the new pack. But this is not that build. This is not a limited pack build. You could do a limited pack cat cafe, but today was not that day. I was actually really happy with how this living room turned out because I loved the color scheme so much. I don't know if I've ever used that blue swatch of the cat tree. I tend to use like the beige swatches of the cat trees most of the time. I think because to me it feels very normal. I mean, like in real life, I literally have a beige cat tree right next to me in this room. The cat is sitting on it as we speak. And I also think that I don't bother with the other swatches too much because a lot of the colors on the cat tree are kind of bad. I like want to like like them so much, but there's some kind of weird color schemes on those cat trees. They could definitely use a revamp. I've brought this up in so many of my videos, but seriously, what I would do to have some more pet beds, some more cat trees, just like a few more bits of pet furniture would go a long way in this game. And you really feel it when you're making a build like this, where I'm using the cat trees all over the place. I want to have a couple more cutesy cat trees, because they make stuff in real life that's like a cat tree with flowers as the beds, and they have some like cuter, smaller ones, and I just would like to have some more sizes. And I also want to have beds that aren't completely flat, because the beds right now look like rugs, and if we had them that were like maybe in a basket or like raised a little bit off the ground, I would like it more. The cat trees are also kind of like rugs in that the base of them is completely flat, and so sometimes it clips with your rugs, and so you'll place a rug there and the rug will like go over the base but under the pillar. So imagine this is the base of the cat tree and there's a pillar right there. The rug will go like across it, so it's like through the base and the pillar somehow. It makes no sense. It's just a visual thing, so it doesn't actually matter in game. Like, it's not gonna break anything, but it looks weird, because in real life, imagine if my rug was like halfway through the middle of the cat tree. It doesn't work. So I am yet again asking the Sims team to do like a little tiny cat refresh for us. Just a few more things, If you made a cat related pack, I would actually not be mad, and neither would this one, but I understand that the community would probably not be so happy with you if you did that. But anyway, I'm doing the bedroom now. So this is gonna be Katarina's bedroom. You can see she's got like her own little ensuite bathroom right there, and then a pretty decent bedroom space. I made this whole room kind of like a purple and green color based around that bed from Cats and Dogs, and I got to use a lot of stuff that I haven't really used that much before, like this purple laundry day rug. I also gave Katarina a vanity and like a little table with some cat figurines on it. I get asked about those cat figurines a lot too. Those are just from Cats and Dogs. It's like a little mini cat statue. I would love to have that kind of thing in real life. I don't have any little mini cat statues. I've got a lot of like cat art prints in my house, but no statues. And the statue is kind of fun. I have built-in bookshelves by my TV. Maybe I should look and see if I can find some cat statues. I put those a lot on my like mantles in The Sims, so it'd be kind of cute to have a little cat figurine for my mantle in real life. I'm sure I could find some sort of like vintage thing if I looked hard enough. I have a little vintage duck statue like that I bought from an estate sale. I bought that last year. I'm sorry about the cat. She is being like so needy. I've been gone for like 3 days. In her defense, I got back this morning. My sister was here, and Snap is very good at demanding attention from cat sitters, and from my sister especially. But literally, you leave the house for like 2 hours, Snap will act like you haven't seen her in years. She is a very, very needy cat. She is very friendly and she likes people. Saying that, she's not even acting different. Like, she does this in my videos a lot. It's not like it's a change, but I think that's why she's doing it today. Over here, I thought for a little bit about trying to use some of the stuff, oh my gosh, some of the stuff from my kit. So I was thinking about using like the purple and green computer from my kit because it would match the room, but then I was like, it doesn't match the, like, having a computer in this room, I don't think it's really Katarina's vibe. And she also has an office on the top floor. So I scratched the computer idea in this room and I swapped it out to have the office upstairs instead. Speaking of scratching, there are a lot of scratching things for the cats too. I put scratching posts and cat trees. I think there's one in every single room, except the bathrooms, but that's fine. I don't think they need one in the bathroom. They have a litter box in the bathroom. And I think the apartment has 3 litter boxes total, plus there's probably 3 more downstairs. So I think we have 6 on this lot. Katarina has 4 cats, and I think the rule of thumb generally is to have 1.5 litter boxes per cat. You might be able to get away with something different than that depending on how your cats are. And 1.5 sounds weird, but kind of like if you have 2 cats, you should maybe have 3 litter boxes. Maybe. We have 2 litter boxes in my house for my 3 cats, and that works well for us, but it depends like on how your cats behave, because sometimes they might be a little bit more territorial of their litter. Like, some cats won't share their litter box with somebody else, other ones are fine with it. You know your cats better than me. Look up your own research about how cat litter boxes work, but I hope that that's enough for Katarina's cats. I also didn't give her any of the fancy laser ones. I kind of wanted her to clean them. This sounds bad, but I was kind of like trying to come up with more work to do at the cat cafe, because really it's not that hard to run a cat cafe functionally in game. You're basically just tending the coffee bar. Like, you don't need to even do anything else. So I was trying to have more things for your Sims to clean you know? Looking back on this, I think that I accidentally didn't record the last room of the build, so that's a little bit annoying. We don't have footage of that, but I will give you a tour. Let's pop back in and I'll give you a tour of the fully finished product. On the gallery, you're looking for the Cat Scratch Cat Cafe lot. It's a 20 by 15 lot. It costs 100,000 simoleons and it uses so many packs. 3 pages of packs. I'm so sorry. Oops. And it's pricey. Hold on. Here is what the finished product, oh my gosh. It's what the finished product looks like. So we'll start by kind of touring around the outside. You can see I put the little ticket kiosk right by the front door. So Sims will check in right there. I also have some catnip that you can harvest and I put it in a few different custom made ceramic potters. I've got a little sign out front. There's like a little cat in the window. This is like the open sign, so you can open it from right here. And look at this, it switches to be, oh, she can't get to it because the plants are there. That's fine. Well, pretend it works. There's some outdoor seating over here this way. And around this side, you can come in through this little gate. We have a trash can. I have some more cat scratching posts. There's like a picnic table. I put some more toys, more catnip, and also like a bird feeder and a bird bath. Because I kind of like the idea of there being a view of birds for the cats when they're watching. Around the way back, I've got a little bike rack for your Sims. There's like an AC unit, and this is the door to get into Katarina's apartment. I'm gonna come back to that. We'll do it last because I want to start by showing you around the inside. So when you first walk in, there's like a little welcome mat right here. And I put this because my cats love to scratch that texture. I have one of those on my porch. And I was saying how my cats can go on the screened-in patio. They love to try and scratch the mat right there. We have a cat tree over here. There's a few different tables in this room. I love this wall with the paw prints at the top and the seats and everything. This is the wall of cat pictures that I painted myself. So these are all of Katarina's cats. For some reason, this cat is like the goofiest thing I've ever seen. Look at what it looks like. That's the little tiny kitten that I was warning you about earlier. I mean, the pictures are not very good, but I did what I could to get some pictures of them. You can also buy a drink back here if you wanted to. So I've got a little bit of clutter place, and this is like the employee room. So it's not big, it just has a fridge and also one of these little candy makers. You can come this way to get into kind of like a little hallway. This is the bathroom. It has a cat door and a human door. They've got those 2 cat litter boxes, the 1 toilet stall, and also like a sink and everything. And then through this door is the catio. So I've put a couple of benches for your Sims to sit on. I have 3 different sizes of cat tree, a bunch of cat beds, a bunch of toys, bunch of food, like everything you could possibly need. There is a cat door as well as a human door. They don't really need that because the cats can go through the human door if they want to, but it's just cuter to have a cat door, right? Like it looks fun. If you wanted to go into the apartment, you could access it through this little door, or you could come around outside and go in through the front door there. I did put like a little supply closet here. It's kind of annoying because this is supposed to be residential and I would have rather had the supply closet in the employee space, but that's just kind of where it fit. But it is another spot to woohoo, I guess. So that's a positive. And then upstairs again, they've got like this little tiny hallway and you come in here into the apartment. So I've put a few things like some shoes underneath this bench. There's a little cat scratching post, a record player. We have like our bags and stuff up on display. This is the living room that I was telling you about earlier. I used a few things from my kit in here. We have 3 cat bowls. I do have 4 cats, but I feel like the 3 cat bowls up here plus all the cat bowls downstairs are probably enough. So I put those there. Here's the kitchen. I've just got like some little cat treats on display. There's a table and everything. This is the bathroom that Katarina uses. So there's a door in the hallway plus a door in her bedroom. We've got some cute counter space. There's a shower tub combo, her toilet, and then of course the cat's toilet. This is Katarina's room. I really like the color scheme in here. I think it's kind of fun. I will acknowledge that the rug is a little bit much, like the mint carpet, but I wanted to commit to it being colorful, so I did it anyway. And then upstairs again, this is what you have not seen yet. She's got like a little hallway with a bonsai tree and some more books. There are a lot of books in here. And then this is her office. This one kind of has like a pink and green color scheme. I was inspired by this painting. I did this one first and I was like, whoa, I cannot hang that up inside of the cat cafe. It's like neon. It looked kind of weird, so I put it in here and I based the room around it, but she's got like a little computer set up here too. A few different cat pictures on the desk and on the table. And then across this way is the cat room slash guest room space. So this is the Murphy bed that I was telling you about. If you had a guest, they could stay here, but also your cats can sit on it. I put a fish tank for the cats to watch. They've got another cat tree, some toys. This is like the guest bathroom, but it also has 2 bonus litter boxes. And then through here, this is so unnecessary, but I wanted to have like a cat exclusive room. So this is the cat's living room and no humans can get in here. They have their own couch, another scratching post, plus an extra cat tree right here. So the cats have everything they could ever possibly want. And that, my friends, is the fully finished product. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know I've been really yapping in this one, and I'm sorry for that, but I'm gonna wrap it up right here. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna be doing that charity stream for Trans Lifeline today, so I'm gonna link my stream and also the donation page down below. Please don't feel like you have to come donate. Honestly, and I mean this, just being there at the stream is support enough. The goal obviously is to raise money, but also to help raise awareness. So please don't feel guilty if you can't afford to donate. I know that it's a really hard time right now. Please take care of yourselves, and I'm gonna catch you all later, okay? Bye, everybody. I am so sorry if Snap was being distracting throughout this whole process. She's very cute, but I know she was being a lot.